Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This will be Skype Goldbridge as always, so get ready. The calls aren't open yet. Anything you want to talk about is fine. That's what Skype Goldbridge is all about. One of my favourite shows. But I want to start off with this news that Jose Mourinho will axe up to 5 Manchester United stars this summer. Now, what do we find as a star? I think for me, you're a Manchester United superstar if you're over £40,000 a week, because £40,000 a week is a hell of a lot of money if you're playing at somebody like Everton or somebody like that. And, well, let me just read a few stars at Manchester United. Phil Jones, 50 grand a week. Chris Smalling, 80 grand a week. Obviously Rooney, £300,000 a week, maybe as low as 260. We're not too sure about that. Adnan Januzaj, £40,000 a week. Fellaini, £80,000 a week. But interestingly enough, obviously Schneiderlin went £100,000 a week he was on. And Memphis was on £100,000 a week. And Schweinsteiger was on £400,000 a week. So lots of people on a lot of money that probably don't really deserve to. But before I get into that, I just want to say I am absolutely tired and fed up and tired of listening to people going on about, oh, Troops looked really happy yesterday. Oh, did you see Mo? Or what about DT? We're Manchester United. I understand that you want to go and watch Arsenal Fan TV when they lose, Arsenal Fan TV and chill, whatever that nonsense is all about. But the amount of United fans who are now watching Arsenal when they beat us, it's just bloody ridiculous. I tell you what, you're going to be very, very careful. It's called subtle marketing, and you are going to get pulled in. I'll give you 2-3 months, and you'll be out there buying Arsenal shirts next. It's very, very, very subtle marketing, and you're all getting lured in. I understand if you're of that ilk that you like to laugh at fans when they get beaten, but the amount of United fans today on the live comments, on the comments on the YouTube and all over Twitter talking about Arsenal Fan TV. Arsenal just bloody beat us. Have some pride and support your own bloody club. Screw Arsenal and their weird set of fans. We're Manchester United. It's starting to do my head in now. I don't mind it when they lose, but that is just weird. Weird. Going to watch fans celebrate beating your own club. Anyway, the superstars that Jose Mourinho may get to. You can Skype in about that. You can Skype in about what I've just said. You can Skype in about Mourinho. There's a few people still frustrated saying it's not a good season even if we win the Europa League. Tonight is your show. If you watched the Sunday night show last night, we've covered a lot of things. Rooney, whatever you want to talk about will be your opportunity when we open up Skype Goldbridge. Zaki says I'm a United fan and I watch it. To me, you're not. I really, that's personal to me. I don't understand why people are watching another club's fan channel when they're winning against us. It's weird. Full stop. And you won't change me on that. Shahori Kaira has made a contribution already. He says, Mark, United will never reach the level of Madrid. You've already lost. I'm not even going to come back on that because we already have reached the levels of Madrid in the past and we will do it again. The superstars that Jose Mourinho will get rid of then. There are people going to go out the door. And what I would say is that this is relevant. I think this summer Jose Mourinho would like to have been, and I totally disagree with it, I think he would like to have been, had the luxury of going, yeah, they've been a really good performer for me, but I think I can get somebody better. So I'm going to let them go and get somebody better in, even though they're quite good. So I'm not saying he will do this because it'd be ridiculous if he did. But I think, Juan Mata, Daley Blind, that sort of player, Adami, and he might have thought, yeah, I'm going to get you an upgrade. I'm going to get rid of you and upgrade you to make us a better team. He doesn't even have that luxury this year. He has to keep the likes of Mata and Blind and Darmian because they've actually performed this season. Whether they are good enough to win the titles or not, they've performed this season. He hasn't got the room to think about getting rid of people like Mata or Blind because there is so much crap, deadwood superstars that he must get rid of first of all. And he'll probably have to keep some of them because it's beyond I said it, get wields his axe. This is suicide. This is like genocide. There's so many of them. I think Phil Jones got to go because he's on a lot of money, but also he's always injured. He's got to go. Chris Smalling again. I just don't think he's. I did think he was up to it, but yesterday I thought it was inexcusable. So that's 2. Rooney obviously has to go for so many reasons. Yes, United great legend, whatever you want to call him. But I'm not sentimental about it. Manchester United come first. He's on way too much money. He's got way too much influence in the dressing room. And he has declined way too much. So he's got to go. That's 3. You know what I think about Fellaini. That's 4. And then probably, I think he might get rid of Luke Shaw. 5. De Gea might go 6. Zlatan's going to go 7. So there's a hell of a lot of players that I think will go. And obviously Januzaj, I think he's got to go. He's just a waste of time to bring back. Januzaj at his very best is an Everton squad player. He is certainly nowhere near Manchester United. He is going to keep Fellaini. So the less we have of these players that aren't good enough for Manchester United, the better. Considering we will be keeping Lingard next year, and I don't think he's good enough. We will be keeping Fellaini. I don't think he's good enough. We need to decrease these players that aren't good enough and increase the players that are. And Januzaj just comes back and he's just another player that's going to take game time that's just never, ever going to be good enough. And he's on £40,000 a week. He needs to go. 100% needs to go. All hail Josie's old team who've won the league, says United Red Devil. And Zlatan's going to leave, says Josh Sharp. Yes, he is. I mean, we did this on the transfer show this morning and people have called it fake news. Because the United Stand's always been a channel that wakes up in the morning and thinks, what crap can we peddle our viewers today? We really aren't worried about credibility. We just want to talk nonsense. In fact, tomorrow I'm thinking about saying Ronaldo's signed overnight. I mean, the nonsense of it, and people want to give up your sources and stuff like that. Look, there are people that have told us stuff in the past, but that isn't been told for us. If you can't find that story, then that's down to you. We report it. Zlatan has had his operation in America. He has up sticks and gone back to Sweden. His house is going up on the market, and he won't be a Manchester United player next year because he's not going to be fit. I mean, I can't believe it. The United Stand viewers, you are fantastic. You are intelligent people. You're the life and soul of this channel. I cannot believe we are being questioned about Zlatan Ibrahimovic leaving. It's almost like 2 add 2 is 4. He's injured. He's not going to be back until January. He's out of contract in the summer. He can go to America when their season starts in February or March, fully fit and earn a packet. He doesn't want to be at Manchester United, and Manchester United can't afford to wait that long and pay him 300 grand a week. He's gone. And I'm sad about it, but there you go. George Carl makes a very good point. If you don't like the United Stand, don't watch it. Very, very good point. Why waste your life? More ZRZ says, hi Mark, you quoted one of my tweets today. I'm Zach Roberti, who says Jose embarrassed us and wants Jose out. Can I come on and talk about it because it's generates a lot of bait? If you let me, if your name is Zach Roberto on Skype, I will look out for you, pal, because I'm just about to open it now. I've given you my say on a few things, and this show is unscripted, so I want you to Skype in and give me your thoughts on the show tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of my favourite shows on the United Stand. You never know what's going to be said. Skype Goldbridge, all one word. Get Skyping, have your say. The lines are open. Let's do it. And also, I'm going to take some Snapchats as well. United Stand MUFC, all one word, is the way to Snapchatters, and we will be taking some of those. Dave Allen wants to interview me for his podcast. Depends how big your podcast is, mate. I'm only joking. If I've got the time, I'll always do stuff. I'm more than happy to do that. Okay, let's see what Luke's got to say. Luke, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here, thanks. How are you, Mark?
I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm good, thanks. Probably going to hear that question a few times tonight.
What do you want to talk about?
So, I know this was on the whatever you did last night, the stream, but I just wanted to mention quickly about Mourinho and our season.
Yes.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
I think there's a lot of people in here who are forgetting what club we are. I know it sounds condescending, but I mean, we're Manchester United. And I don't remember a time when we used to think getting fourth was a successful season. It's not. We're Man United and we didn't win the league. Therefore, our season was a failure. That's how I see it. We went into the season thinking we had a chance of winning it, and we didn't. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point. I mean, did you come into this season thinking we could win the league?
I thought with the signings we had, and I think what we already had, and the manager we got, we could have won the league. And if we play, and judging how we played, I think we could have won the league, except our results didn't win the league. But the play could have.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think I get tired of listing all the points that we've dropped at home, but I'll argue with anybody, this 16. And that doesn't include games like Everton at home, where I thought a draw was a fair result. These are points that we should have won games in, not even counting away games. So if you add 16 points onto our total now, I don't know where that puts us, but it certainly puts us in a title chase and comfortably in the top four. So the reason I asked about whether you thought we could win the title is because I fell into the trap a bit last August as well. I got really excited about Pogba and Zlatan. I was like, we're going to win the league. But then I think reality did bite quite quickly into what I'd said a month before that, in that I think it's too big a step to win the league this year, because I think what's ultimately happened is that a few players... Well, I think that it's got to fall on the players. I mean, I don't know where you stand on this. I mean, do you put it at Mourinho's door or do you put it at the players? Because Mourinho can't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, I'd say players.
And a lot of the deadwood have come back to bite us. Whether, people have said that Rooney was finished. I think he's been disappointing this year. Memphis and Schneiderlin had to be sold. Disappointing. Smalling, disappointing. Phil Jones, disappointing. A lot of disappointing players that were classed as deadwood last summer that he gave a season to.
I think the game that really put it into perspective was Chelsea game when we lost. I mean, they did just score now, but the 4-0 game showed us how we weren't the squad we thought we were, and there's always invulnerabilities. Like, when I thought our defence would be Bailly and Smalling perfect, because Smalling played so well last season.
Yes.
But he just hasn't stepped up this season. And that's when I realised we maybe don't have good of a chance of winning the league. But when I came into it, I think we should have won the league.
Yeah. I do think Mourinho has been let down by the players. There are mistakes he's made, and I sort of said last night I was going to keep them back until the end of the season, personally. But what mistakes, if any, do you think Mourinho is culpable for?
Firstly, Man City, the game. I still think we shouldn't have. That was bad.
The defensive approach.
It was. Even if we had no chance of top 4 going into a derby, we shouldn't have been going for a draw, should we? If we're honest.
No, that's a point as well. I mean, what do you think about this? I think we tweeted it out last night. If we don't score against Spurs on Sunday, we've not scored against any of the top 6 away all season, which is shocking when you add that to the fact that we've struggled to beat all the crap teams at Old Trafford as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing we are where we are.
It seems like what he's doing, I think he's doing all right at, but it's what he's doing that's wrong in some games. That's what I think. And another thing what I think he could mess up on now is if we don't get into the Europa League final or we don't win it, we have no backup plan. We're not getting top 4, and that's where I think it was dangerous what he did. Obviously, I'm not going to blame him because I said give up on top 4 and go for the Europa League, but I know that he is going to get a lot of criticism now if we do not win the Europa League and do not get Champions League from that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I've been saying this all season. The Europa League is such a lottery, and we had the dress rehearsal last year. And as much as it was funny that Liverpool were at half time, they were going to be in the Champions League and win the Europa League, and they blew it in the last 45 minutes. We are going to be in that situation, hopefully, and I think we will win on Thursday, or we'll win the tie. And then it's Ajax in a one-shot lottery, and anything can happen. And to be honest, if it comes off, we'll all be absolutely ecstatic, and I think it's so important that it does. But if it doesn't come up, there's going to be a hell of a lot of questions to be asked in the summer, because we have totally and utterly put our eggs all in one basket. I don't personally believe the fatigue excuse is a good excuse. I think we have a massive squad, but we've just got... The problem with United is we have got a massive squad, but we've just got a lot of players, not a lot of talent.
Yeah, but the fatigue excuse is a bit... I don't agree with what Mourinho's saying about that. He was the one who put them into that position by not resting people like Bailly against Swansea.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And then against Arsenal away, where we get another chance, he goes and plays the kids. It's been a bit contradictory at times, but I mean, I agreed with the team. I've got to say, I agree with the team on.
I think that's a lot of fans. I wouldn't describe them as fans, because what they do is they tell him to do something, and then when they do it and it doesn't work, they have a go at him.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of what will happen if we do not get Champions League football this time. They'll go back on their words and say, never mind. And
I tell you what, there is a lot of you see it when you monitor social media in the comments like we do, that it is growing, whether people think it's ridiculous or not. And Dorothy Devil put a tweet out today that I don't necessarily agree with, where he said, if you're a Mourinho out person, then go and support another club, you're plastic. That's dangerous, because there are people out there that have never liked Mourinho as manager, and that opinion has to be respected, even though I believe it is totally wrong. You can't just say, "Oh, your opinion's plastic," just because you know it's ridiculous to you. I do think it's ridiculous to be Mourinho out, but I know for a fact there's some people on these live comments who've never liked him from the start. But it is starting to grow. I think he'll be fine. Luke, was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's all. Thanks, Mark.
Great. Well, brilliant, perfect first caller. Thanks for calling in, and please do
Have a
again.
nice stream. See ya.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
Thank you.
There has. I just want to double check because there's been a couple of super chats which we never ever want to miss when people are contributing to the channel. Shori Kara says, Di Maria, James, you want Madrid rejects, small club, and 12 titles. That's the level of United. Not really. I don't know what he's on about there. And Toby Aguda's made a contribution. Thank you for that, Toby. He didn't leave us a question. I'm hoping to try and get this Zach on if he wants to Skype, because I know he'd asked if he could come on in response to his message. I'd seen him call him there before. You've really got to time it so that you call. Well, I've got him now. Call it when I'm ending a call. Zach, can you hear me? Zach?
Hello, Mark.
Yeah, you're live.
Hi, you alright?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. What was it you wanted to say?
You okay, Mark?
Yeah.
I just wanted to come on and talk because you quoted one of my tweets earlier, and I'm actually one of the few people who's Mourinho out at the moment. And I wanted to come on and justify that opinion because I know you personally are against that opinion and you like Mourinho, but myself, I'm done with him already.
Okay, so the floor's yours. That's what the show's all about. Tell us and the viewers at home why you feel like that and how long you felt like that.
I've been feeling like it for a little while now. I've become frustrated. I think he doesn't respect what we stand for as a club. I know we've lost a lot of our respect in the last couple of years because of, we've had LVG, we've had Moyes, we've had, our club knocked down a peg or two. But I think we should still not be going into big matches and thinking we want to draw these, like parking the bus against City or Liverpool. I just think no matter what you want to do, no matter what you want to get out, you've just got to go in and try and win those games because we're a big club and we pride ourselves on beating our rivals. And I think the fact that he's trying to go for the Europa League, I think that's great if we get it, and we're looking forward to Champions League if we win it. But if we don't, we're taking a huge risk and it might not pay off. And then I think, everyone's got to look at him and think, was it worth it? We've gone a whole year and he's built his club up a little bit, but we're still in the Europa League.
So would you sack him then? Is that what you're saying? I mean,
I think if we get to the end of the season and he wins the Europa League, then people will say, look, Mourinho's a tactical mastermind. He's pulled this off. Don't sack him. And I'd say, fair enough. He's got us back in the Champions League. Don't sack him. But what happens if we let 2 lucky goals in on Thursday and suddenly, because we've blown the league, we don't have Champions League again? I'm not saying... I'd say sack him then. I know a lot of people would disagree, and I don't think he would get sacked because I think the board are happy with him. But really, can we be happy with a season where we win the EFL Cup, the Charity Shield, and get 5th in the league? I don't think we can.
So, I mean, I'll tell you where I stand, and I'm sure a lot of people are sort of saying this in the live comments, some of them in a quite derogatory way, but it is all about opinion, and you have put it very well. He's not going to be sacked no matter what happens, that's a fact. I wouldn't sack him because I think Moyes was different. He was never the right man and he had to go. Van Gaal had 2 years. I think Mourinho has to have 2 years, whether you back him or not. And I think this season, as well as I was saying to the previous caller, Luke, there is, if you think about how close we are to top 4, literally 1 or 2 points, really, if you take into account the game at hand, and you look at the amount of points we've thrown away this year, some of them have been his fault for, subbing Fellaini on against Everton, 2 points thrown away there. But the majority has been come down to the players. And I think that when you come into a club at the start of July like he did, and you're off on a tour to China more or less straight away, you're almost getting rid of the deadwood blind. It's very easy for Manchester United fans for us to say, look, he should have got rid of this player, that player last summer. I agree with that. People like Phil Jones, even Rooney, I think they should have gone last year. But Mourinho hasn't been studying Manchester United for his whole life like we all have. And I think, he's given them a season, and he's in that season, he's probably seen what a lot of us saw last summer. And to be honest, I would have sold Rojo last summer, and that would have been a mistake because Mourinho's turned him into a very, very good player. So, I mean, is it the style of play that have you always had your reservations about Mourinho, or is it just what you've seen as a Manchester United manager?
Joe, I was straight away, as soon as we realised that LVG was a fraud and that he was rubbish and Mourinho was free, I was saying like everyone else, let's go out and get Mourinho because he's the best manager out there who's available and would come to United in the state that we're in. But really, I'm not sure, looking at Mourinho, if we all just wanted him in because he was the only one. If other managers had been available at the time, say Simeone or, Guardiola or someone, would Mourinho have been our first choice? Would he have been the best option? Because, he's gone out, he's won Champions Leagues in the past, he's done, great things with the clubs he's been at. But he had just gone and ruined a Chelsea side that had won the league. He hadn't had a great final season with Chelsea, and that sort of carried over into this United one. I don't know if he's lost it, but he's struggling. And, we can't hide that. He's not what he was before.
I think Simeone would be worse in relation to tactics. He's a very negative manager. And in relation to Chelsea, I just think Chelsea are a very mercenary club with very mercenary players. And you look at somebody like Eden Hazard, who was atrocious last year, the year before that Player of the Year. This year he's back to Player of the Year form. It's just abundantly clear that those players are more than happy, and they've done it before, to down tools, which is something that's foreign to Manchester United, because our players, some of them are just bad. They're not players who are downing tools. But very interesting, Zach, and thanks for calling in. More than happy to take those sort of calls. You've put it across very well. Like Rodney Reed just said, good call, but we have to back the manager. There is so much that needs sorting. One manager to complete the job. But first time on, is it, or have you been on before?
Yeah, no, first time on. I'm happy to be on. I know a lot of people will disagree with what I've said, and I think that's fine. I would never call someone a plastic fan for disagreeing with what I think, but I just wanted to come on and talk to it because I feel that I'm in such a minority that I just want to, maybe let people see another light on this who haven't thought of it in that way.
Yeah, very good. I totally agree. Thanks for calling. Please do call in again, Zach.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Ta-da. Let me just... I've got Carisha. Carisha, if you give me 1 minute, I'm just going to wrap that call up and then I'll get you on. He's spot on there. Look, this is what the United Stand's all about. It won't always be callers. It won't all be walking down Lollipop Lane with Gumtree houses and gingerbread doors. There are people with different opinions, and that is what the United Stand is all about. So I agree with that. I don't agree with the call, but more than welcome to come on and do it. And if you disagree with it and it's generating thought in your head, then that's even better. But Carisha, regular on the show, how are you?
Hey Mark.
What did you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk about what the guy just said a while ago about Jose Mourinho. He's a Jose Mourinho out person.
Yeah.
Why would we do that after one season? The thing is, people say we have a big team, but majority of the team has no quality. There are about like 8 persons in our squad that is actually fit for our squad.
Yeah,
and to talk about the style of football, what the hell is style of football? You're going to play the prettiest. Look, for example, Chelsea doesn't play the best football. Tottenham plays the best football, but are they is a trophy given out to say, whoa, you've won the best style of football? No.
Good point.
Chelsea are going to win it. Tottenham have played great football, but they ain't going to win it. And another thing, the same thing too. Look at when Juventus, Barcelona, right? They had great football playing. Neymar, Suarez, Messi. But what? Juventus beat them at the end of the day. The thing is, the media are always going to look at what they want to look at. If you have a great defense and you're winning the title, they're going to say, oh, great. They're not even going to talk about defensive. Nobody wants to talk about how defensive Conte is, because all Chelsea does is sit back and then wait to go on the counter. Nobody talks about your defense if you're leading. But if you lose, they want to jump and say we were too defensive. When we were playing pretty football, when we were playing not pretty football, when we were playing great football but not finishing our chances, they were saying, oh well, they're playing good football, but they're just not finishing their chances. No, after the team is tired, so I didn't expect us to play great throughout. They're going to say we're too defensive. If we had won yesterday, they wouldn't have said we were too defensive.
That's a great point. We were very close yesterday. We were very, if Rooney puts that chance away in the first half and we win that game 1-0, everyone would say what a great tactical bit of play that was by Mourinho with a tired side.
That's what I'm saying. But when I looked at the, I wasn't even angry that we lost yesterday, because when I look at the side, I was like, okay, there's no speed there, because Wayne Rooney ain't go add nothing.
Yeah.
One matter, and Mkhitaryan is not on farm, so well, But the only what I see everybody's talking about, and I really didn't like, was the fact that even though we didn't care about the game, we still should have went attacking. But I guess, and anyway, Wayne Rooney missed the 2 clearest chances in the game, so the game could have drawn anyway.
What players? I started the show off saying about Mourinho getting rid of players this summer. Let's bring it down to 3. If you could get rid of, what 3 players would you get rid of from Manchester United's squad at the moment this summer? What would the 3 would you get rid of? Rooney, I presume, would be one.
Come on, it's not even an option. I don't count Wayne Rooney as an option. Wayne Rooney has to go. He's not in the 3 players. He's just going.
And who else?
Chris Smalling, oh my God, I'm looking at it now, and if Chris Smalling was not 6'4", he would not be a footballer.
A bit like Fellaini.
Right now. My point exactly. He would not be a footballer, because I don't know what the hell is Chris Smalling up to.
Yeah, it was poor yesterday, to be honest.
I would have said Darmian, but no, I changed my mind because he has been playing good at left back, so I'm going to give him a chance.
So who's your final?
Fellaini has to, so it's Chris Smalling, Fellaini, and I'm sorry, but I don't want Carrick to stay. Everybody likes Carrick, but I think Carrick time is up. I don't want him to get a new contract.
I'll tell you what, it's almost a great point. If anyone wants to call in and give their opinion on Carrick and back Carisha up on that, because there are a few people out there, you're more than welcome. I won't agree with it, but it is your show. Very, very interesting. Thanks for calling in again, Carisha. Really good points.
Thank you.
Thanks. Please call in again.
Yeah.
Carisha's been on a few times. Very, very opinionated, and some would say very accurate. Rooney, Rashford and Martial have to go, says Eddie Tate. Mr. Kaji says Carrick is godly. I think Carrick will go this summer, but I'm not of the opinion that he needs to go. I'm not one of those, not by a long way. I think he's been such a good player, but a lot of people felt he had a bad game yesterday. Jake Holden, too old. Gary says we'd love to have him at Everton. Maybe he can't do a job at Manchester United anymore. I don't know, but we'll see. Indy, can you hear me?
Yes, Mark, I can hear you.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. What did you want to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Manchester United having a similar season to how Jose Mourinho returned back to Chelsea. When he returned back to Chelsea needed a striker because I think Hazard was the top scorer, and they needed strikers because who they had up front, they had Eto'o, they had Fernando Torres, they had Demba Ba, and that wasn't good enough. Then the season after, they bought Diego Costa and they won the league, and they had a striker scoring goals. And also, I know Manchester United have been dropping points to the smaller sides and getting some points against the bigger sides. It's very similar to Jose Mourinho when he returned back to Chelsea. He was he dropped points to the smaller sides, but he got points from the bigger sides.
I don't remember enough about it, but I might get a bit of echo there. But so you Mourinho in or Mourinho out, Indy? What are you coming at from here?
I'm Mourinho in. Even if he got us relegated, I'm Mourinho in all the time.
I think even I would have to start getting a bit cross with him if he got us relegated with all the resources that he's got. But, I mean, let's bring it back to that question I was asking before. No goals away to any of the top 6 so far. Spurs is our last chance to do it. Unable to beat the lower teams at home. Why is this? I mean, we know that I think I'd say 80% down to the players, but Mourinho is responsible slightly. I mean, the tactics against Man City, just park the bus. Liverpool away back in October, park the bus. Chelsea away, park the bus and get thrashed. Arsenal, park the bus and try and hit them on the break. It's been pretty consistent, park the bus, and that isn't, it works. It's all right every now and again, but if he continues down that route next season, I think I would be a bit frustrated. I can swallow it for one season because it's like, the players haven't stepped up to the plate, but I mean, it's a very good question. I'll throw it to you. How long does Mourinho get, and how long do you think it's going to take for him to put it right? That might sound like the same question, but some people think he needs 2 or 3 more transfer windows. I personally think this is the one to sort it.
Yeah, I think he's going to win the league next season.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, because all we need is, I think we need a clinical striker. I would have been happy, and with the defense, I don't think, well, I was going to say there's not a problem with it, but now Rojo's out to December or 2018, so we're going to need a centre-back, so I'll go for Varane and Bailly, and then, actually, we may need another centre-back, because Bailly, in January, he goes out for that African tour thing. So I think we need another centre-back. But that's the problem.
I think that's every other year, isn't it, in African nations?
Yeah, I don't think we can change, too much of the defence, because if we do that, then we'll just be playing with strangers in the team. I would keep, in that defence, I would keep one of my favourite players, Darmian. I would keep Shaw. I would keep, obviously, Bailly, Rojo, Tuanzebe and Valencia. But I'll definitely get rid of Smalling and Jones. Yeah. I think as soon as we get rid of them, we're going to make less mistakes at the back.
Fantastic call, Indy. I'm going to just try and whiz through as many, so I'm not, try and give everyone 3 minutes or so. But great regular on the live comments and very good points again. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Cheers. Very good point from Indy there that reminded me about something I did want to say. But before I say that, let me just say we've had 4 very good callers so far. This is Skype Goldbridge. I love it. I think it's a fantastic show. I never know what people are going to say, and we've had some really different opinions. Please do drop a like on the video, because I know that the people who come on, some of them get a little bit nervous, and it's just backing them, isn't it? It's giving them some support from a fantastic community we have. I know not everybody agrees, but just give them a bit of support, whether it's in the live comments or drop a like on the video and let them see that support is there. But loads of people calling in. I'm going to take, let's take Damien. Damien, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Let me just say this point, and then you can say what you were going to say. I just wanted to very quickly say, in relation to what Indy was saying there about Tuanzebe, what a debut yesterday, absolutely superb. People go on about Manchester United's youth, and Manchester United's youth is very, very important. But let me just say this. I've been a Manchester United fan for decades, and apart from the class of 92, it's been slim pickings. We've got Tuanzebe, Marcus Rashford, Fosu Mensah and Andres Pereira, who can be absolutely amazing. It's a very exciting time. But I do appreciate what people are saying about Mourinho with the tactics. Now, Damien, I don't know what you wanted to talk about, but the floor's yours, pal.
Well, first thing, I'd agree with that. I think the youth are important. I'm a bit worried about Mourinho in that aspect, but only time will tell on that. I'm not sure if he understands that he's got to build those youngsters around players that have got a bit of a rhythm to the game, so they're experienced.
Yeah,
I think it's very important. We've always been like that as a club. One thing I want to mention, I've had a debate with a couple of Tottenham, West Ham fans today at work, and they talk about, you spend money. Okay, last season we spent money, but you're talking about a team that LVG stripped our whole spine. He got rid of Hernandez, Vidic, Rio, Evra, Van Persie. The list might go on, but that's the names that I can remember. All in one transfer window, and he didn't replace them. Not with the like-for-like quality. Now, the point of what I'm saying is Mourinho couldn't have done what... I don't think as Man United fans we expected to really win the league this season. He needed 2 to 3 transfer windows, so I'm going to give him the third one. Reason being is he's rebuilding a whole new team. Whole new team, completely, from the beginning. What have we really got? And a question I want to ask to people, everyone listening, is Manchester United, if we was to win that Europa, we won a League Cup already, and we won the Europa, that's not the worst season. That's not a bad season. I will take that. If he's done that, that's a phenomenal achievement. I think he needs a summer transfer window now. He's bought 4 players in the summer just gone. Imagine if he adds another 4 or 5 players, because they're not the greatest players. Carrick is past his time. Rooney's past his time. Ibrahimovic injured, 35, 36 years of age. Would you really keep him on? If you do, would you want to play him week in, week out? No. he's got a big task on his hand. And if you take all our draws, where would we be? Have we had the worst season, maybe? No, we've played better football. I think we need to appreciate a little bit more from Mourinho, and I'm backing him at the moment. What do you think?
No, I you know, Skype Gold, which is a great show because it brings in all the opinions, and I respect all the opinions, but you know, I can't add much to that because I agree. I think if we win the Europa League, I don't think it's been a great season, but I'll shake hands with it and say we got out of that with what we needed. There's one thing that did resonate with me was about the money. It really pisses me off, to be honest, because the analogy I use, I mean, that idiot off Arsenal Fan TV, DT, was saying yesterday, oh, it might be your reserves, but it still costs 220 million. I don't care if it cost $1 billion, mate. We can afford it. This is the thing.
Exactly.
Manchester United, the analogy is this. Manchester United are a rich club because we've got a big fan base that puts money into the club, whether it's through merchandise, seating, or anything like that. Manchester City and Chelsea have got a lot of money because somebody gave them that money. They didn't earn it. It's a bit like me and Damien run a business that we've run for the last 60 years. It's a very successful business. It sells a product that makes a lot of money, and we are multi-millionaires, and we go and spend that money that we've earned. Then you've got Chelsea down one road, City down another, they've just been to the bank, and the bank's gone, you can have as much money as United have got, but you don't have to earn it. Manchester United should never ever have it levelled at them that they spend a lot of money because we bloody earn it. There's no argument.
The point what I want to say is a question I raised the debate. We had a big argument at work today. What makes you a decorated club? Now, I've got Tottenham fans saying, we finished second and you're bigger than us. And no, what I see it as, you've been in 4 semi-finals in the FA Cup, you failed. Twice you could have won the league, you failed. You're not going to get many opportunities to do that because every club around you is going to want to improve season after season after season. So if you missed the boat or you missed the bus, then you missed it. Now, the point what I've got is Manchester United, we've earned our right to spend that money. We're a decorated club. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, AC Milan, Juventus, Manchester United, Liverpool even though it hurts me to say that, it's being a decorated club that attracts players. Players don't go to someone like Tottenham because you're not decorated. It's simple. Even Chelsea now you can claim are decorated because they spent the money. Yes, they walked into it. Abramovich paid his way to do that. Man City have tried to do that and failed. Yeah. We have to support and back our club. The bottom line is we will spend the money. We've got the money. We've had the money. Alex Ferguson didn't spend a great load of money. And people have to understand another element about this football business now. To buy an okay player might cost you 70, 80 million. To buy a world-class player will cost you 120 million. To buy a phenomenal player will cost you 200 and something million. Who's got the buying power?
Yeah, I find the money thing ridiculous because it's so short-sighted. And in fact, all it is bitter envy. So what if United go and spend £200 million on Ronaldo this summer? People are the press will be like, look at this flop. I don't care if Pogba flops. He won't flop. I don't care. It's loose change to United to spend. He's not worth 90 million anyway. He was worth 60. We just paid another 30 because we can to shut Real Madrid and Barcelona down because they couldn't go that high. The point is, this day and age,
though, that's what you have to spend on decent players. Do you remember going back? Let me think about it. About 10 years ago, you'd have to spend 30, 40 million. That was big spending on players that were decent, whether it was Rio Ferdinand, Rooney, and whatever you get out of them is what you get there later. The point of what I'm trying to say, we are a decorated club. If we win this Europa, we've won every single competition there is to be won. And you know the only reason we ain't won the Europa before? Because we weren't in it.
Yeah.
And now we are in it. Exactly. So now we're making to show we are a big club. We can make it to semi-finals and finals. We're not bottlers. That's one thing we're not. Yes, we might have had a poor league performance. Remember, he's rebuilding. People must... At the beginning of the season, I need to ask every Manchester United fan, did you really believe that we'd win the league? Because I didn't. I just thought we started well. Then I thought, maybe there's a possibility. But I didn't really believe in my heart at the beginning because I knew it wouldn't maybe take 2 seasons, 3 seasons to get back there. You need a manager that can build like Alex Ferguson, like an Arsene Wenger, even though he bottles it as well. But we'll give it to Arsene Wenger. He's still done things. If you would have asked Manchester United fans 20 years ago, we didn't win things before Alex Ferguson come, would you take Arsene Wenger? You would have. Because the argument I had at work, and this is a question I've got for you, Mark, is anything you do in sports about winning trophies?
Well, I don't think there's an answer to that, a correct answer, because people will have different opinions. But for me, I play to win. I had this conversation yesterday. We took my little girl and talking to the football coach there, and I was saying, the schools are annoying me because it's not about winning. It's all about taking part. That doesn't set them up for life at all.
Win. Be a winner. At the end of the day, a tennis player, you ain't nothing if you finish second. It's whoever wins. If you're a golf player, it's whoever wins. If you're a cricket player, it's whoever wins. No one cares about second place. If you run in the athletics, no one gives a damn unless you win. No one remembers people that got silver or bronze. You only remember who got gold. Same in any single sport. Any sport you want to bring into it, it's about winning. Winning mentality. And I'll tell you the argument what I had at work today. If we win a Europa and the League Cup, which is a double, by the way, we failed. How'd you work that out? We qualify for the Champions League, we win a major European Cup, and we won our League Cup. Carling Cup. Call it what you want, I don't care. Trophies is what decorates a club. That's what attracts players. By being, I can go here and win medals. No one cares about finishing second every season, or third, or fourth. So what, you're in the Champions League. Why be in it if you can't win it?
Great. Fair? Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Tyrone's just said it's all about winning trophies. No one remembers Newcastle in '96, and they were the better team, but we won the title. It's spot on. Exactly. Damien, I've got to get other people on because you've been on a while.
No problem.
But, it's whizzed by as it always does. A few people are saying this. I mean, if you want to come on a Sunday night show, we always have a gap. If you fancy coming on for an hour show as a guest, we're more than happy to have you. I'm sure a lot of people would like that as well.
Would love to do that. I would love to do that. I'll speak to you. I'll message you through Skype and we can arrange it.
Yeah, okay. Well, because I know a lot of people appreciate your points. I think it'll be a good show. So we'll get you on a Sunday show. But thanks for calling. Brilliant as ever.
No problem. Excellent. Take care.
Cheers,
right,
pal.
Bye-bye.
I think that would be really, really good because Damien's been on a few times and I think you are all receptive to it and a lot of likes on the video. Please, for everyone who's been on tonight. But a couple of things I wanted to pick up on there, just to hammer it home. Spurs are the best footballing side we've played this season. I'll argue that with anybody. We're playing them next week. They might batter us, but they didn't at Old Trafford. We won the game, but they are the best footballing side I've seen us play. They've not won anything in the last 2 years. Despite being the best footballing side I've seen in the Premier League over 2 years, they've won nothing. United, for all their problems, have won an FA Cup, a League Cup, and could win a Europa League. 3 trophies that will go down in history, that in 20, 30 years' time, when you look back through the history books, you'll see United FA Cup winners, United League Cup winners, and hopefully United Europa League winners. Next to Spurs, you won't even remember they were the best team for 2 years because they won sod all. It is all about winning. Loads of people calling at the moment. I am going to take a call, but I'm very conscious that also we've missed some super chats and I must read those out. Let's have a look. Here we go. Right. Rome. Right. Marcus Junius Brutus, thanks for the contribution. He says Rome wasn't built in a day, and I should know about that. He's right though. Also, Donald Trump. Maybe it's the real one. He says, Mark, this is a small loan of £5 for your channel. Thank you, Donald. I'm not really against you anyway. Toby Agurdu has contributed £1. Thanks for that. Ankit Sharma, thanks for your contribution. He says, do you watch Aditya Red's videos? I don't. I think I know who you're on about, but I don't. And Shuri Kara says Liverpool 5, UEFA Champions League, United 3. Answer this if you can. And Orison says, I just want to say people like Shuri Kara are a joke, sending you money to make stupid points. What a knob. In relation to Liverpool winning the Champions League, they haven't won the Champions League 5 times at all. They've won the Europa League, they've won the Europa Cup 4 times and the Champions League once. We've won the Champions League twice and the Europa Cup, the European Cup once. Now, people can say it's the same thing. I've been saying this consistently for years because I remember what the European Cup was like. Nottingham Forest, the town I'm born from, have won the European Cup twice. Aston Villa the city I live in have won the European Cup once. The European Cup does not compare to the Champions League. It was a Mickey Mouse Cup through the 70s and the early 80s, and that's mainly when Liverpool won it. It was a very hard trophy to win in the late 50s and through the 60s. It became a bit of a joke in the late 70s and the early 80s, and then they revamped it as the Champions League, and it became very, very competitive. Liverpool, I don't count that as 5 against 3 at all. It's 2-1 on a real tournament. There's a lot of comments getting deleted here. I don't know what's going on. I think Beck looks a bit busy, so we've obviously got a few idiots. Rodney was begging me to let him on after Damien, so Rodney's obviously been on a few times. What did you want to say, Rodney?
Hi, Mark. You're right. I have to say Damien's call was fantastic. Some of the points I was just nodding along, thinking, yep, totally agree. The points that I want to make, and I think one of the key words that I picked up from Damien was rhythm. And United haven't played with a decent rhythm all season. And I think when you think about our rhythm, we've been quite slow. And we need someone that dictates the game. Now, whenever Michael Carrick isn't playing, everyone says Michael Carrick needs to play. Well, he played on Sunday, and our rhythm was very, very slow. At the end of the game, I looked at him and Rooney, and I thought they looked like they played the testimonial. It was a lethargic display against one of our greatest rivals, Arsenal. Usually that game's, full on, tackles flying in, heated exchanges. And it was quite a tepid affair for me watching it. So if all of the players that were listed, and you did list quite a few, the one person that we need to make sure that they don't get an extension to their contract is Michael Carrick.
Even over Fellaini?
Do you know what? Because I'm looking at what we need to do to fix United first. Apart from Fellaini can go with Carrick. I think Fellaini can carry Carrick's bags to the coach, and then they can go off together.
With Rooney?
Yeah, with Rooney. Yeah, well, Rooney will be in the bag. That's why Fellaini's carrying it. The player for me, and this is kind of out of the box, and even before I say the name of the player, every time we've been linked to players, like players at Monaco, players at Real Madrid, we identify, or by our unconscious bias, is that we know that our team is not strong enough. De Gea's linked to Madrid, then we're talking about, we need 2 players because, he's going one way. We look at Monaco, we might think, we need 2 players. Every club that's doing well in Europe, we're linked to 2 players, and that just tells you how weak our team is across the pitch, because we need backup in every single position. Our centre-back pairing's not strong enough. They need to go. We need backup for our right-back. The left-back situation, who knows what's going to happen, because it looks like it's an injury-prone position. We've got players that are attached to the squad on big money, and they're not playing. For me, Carrick is the first name that we need to make sure that he doesn't get an extension. And I looked around and I'm thinking, who could we bring in that is a tidy footballer, ensures that his passes reaches his teammates, is effective, and is known to the Premier League? Because if you spend money on a big name player, we're going to take at least 6 months for them to adapt to the league. And I would throw in James Ward-Prowse from Southampton into that. And that's just my take. Now, even when we look at Southampton, straight away saying, but we could get a centre-back. And it then proves my point. When we look at another team and we think, how many players would we take from that team? We start to name more than one.
I've always said all season that a centre-back is really important for Manchester United, but I think it was one of the callers, it may have been Indy, that I was thinking about it. I thought, yeah, we do need a dominant centre-back, but actually, as I said at the very start of the show, I think Mourinho this summer would like to have been doing luxury signings. I wouldn't agree with getting rid of Mata and Blind, but if he might have got rid of them just because he thinks he can get somebody better. He can't do that this summer because there's so much crap he's got to get rid of first. And I would say that actually, centre-back's probably not a priority anymore because there's so many other positions he needs to sort out.
We are a team that, when you think of the managers that have come in and brought in deadwood players that are wearing the United shirt, which means something, we need to move them on. Mourinho, I am definitely a Mourinho in. I will back him I think I backed him from the very beginning. I'm not even thinking about changing him as a manager. The job that he has is a very big job. From the very moment when Ferguson said, trust your next manager, and David Moyes walked in, we have been going backwards with the failed purchases, with the last minute purchases, then the diabolic end of the season, then the talk about Giggs being a manager, then Van Gaal coming in, and then Van Gaal bringing in players, getting rid of players that he didn't replace in terms of the quality. We have been going backwards. Despite how big our name is, that is the reality of our club. Now, as Damien says, we've earned the right to spend the money. That is absolutely right. But as I mentioned to you last time, I would like us to actually do decent scouting and look around and think, right, who has the right temperament and quality to fit into this United team that could make us better? We don't have to continually go and spend 80, 90 million on players abroad. We could negotiate with players that are here. I think there are players in this league that are good enough, that are playing for teams that are around us, and we may think, oh, but they're Southampton. Oh, but I'm telling you now, when Dele Alli played for, is it MK Dons, and he waltzed around Old Trafford and we didn't know how to stop him, he ended up at Spurs, and everyone's saying, oh, we missed a trick. You're damn right we did, because the boy came to and he played in front of us, and no one said, let's get this guy here now. Scouts did not pick up a trick. He went to Spurs, and Spurs said, we'll loan him back for a year. Now look at him. Everyone's talking about how he could go to Madrid and fit in at Barcelona. There are players in this country. So as much as we keep doing the stargazing, looking at the La Ligas and the German league and the French league, and who can we cherry pick from those clubs because they're still in the quarterfinals of whatever European competition that we're not in, there are players in this country that can do a job, and we need to actually go around and say, right, we need you, one, because of your skill and your temperament. And that's what I want to say more than anything. James Ward-Prowse. That's the first name for me, from now till the start of the season, I will look at certain players and think, right, I would suggest one person to you. That's the one person I would suggest that we need to get. Because I think like for like replacement for Michael Carrick, he does a job.
Rodney, I'd love to get you and David on a show. I think we need to arrange that.
Oh, okay. Please.
Probably do it on a Sunday night. I think everyone would really like that. But I've got to try and get someone else on. But fantastic points again. A lot of people backing you up about James Ward-Prowse. I think we did cover him on a transfer show a month ago. But just as a sort of left field signing that nobody really thought about. So, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. But thanks for calling in again, Rodney. And
no worries.
We will sort that out. I think it'd be a great show.
It would be great. I'd look forward to it, definitely.
Okay, I'll be in touch.
All right, no worries, mate.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
All right.
Ta-da. Please do drop a like, not just for Rodney and Damien. We've had some very, very good callers tonight, and I'm sure we'll have some more as well. Fast becoming... I don't think I'll ever lose total love for the Sunday night show because it was our the first show we did on the United Stand. So, your first love, but... Skype Goldbridge is a very, very close second. I absolutely love it. I don't really have to prepare for it. You all come on and say your bit. I think it's fantastic. And we've had such a diverse range of opinions. It's great. Digi Vigi Singh says, DT rips you so bad, laugh out loud. Well, for one, I don't watch Arsenal Fan TV or that idiot. I read his tweet yesterday that somebody had sent me. For two, how can you get ripped by somebody hiding behind a keyboard? I offered him to come on the show last week. He'll get absolutely buried by an educated person because he's probably got no GCSEs, which is fine because neither have I, and that is the truth. But I am educated when it comes to football. He isn't. He's just a big gob, and he won't come on this show. So he can wind his neck in. And I'm not. This is not me as Mark Goldbridge. This is me as the United Stand, because I think actually what you lot and what these guests come on and say is credible. Why would I want a pantomime act to come on the show? That's not what the United Stand's ever been. Don't want pantomime acts. Don't want viral video idiots. We want opinions like we've had tonight. Really educated, gives you something that you want to think about opinion, and that's what you've all been. Talking about plonkers, 20 times a red. You've been on the live comments for a long time. I've noticed your little digs for a long time. The abuse. You're blocked. You're gone. If you're wondering what you're typing for and your comments aren't coming on, blocked. Had enough of it. Not having that sort of abuse. So, cheerio. As I've said before, United Stand is a great, great community, but it's not a free-for-all to just abuse people. So, cheerio to you. Let's take another call. I've loved the show tonight. I think it's been fantastic. So, as I say, drop a like and support everybody. Let's take Tyrone Edwards. I nearly hit Tyrone Williams, but I think it's Tyrone Edwards. Can you hear me, Tyrone?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hiya, how you doing? All right.
Good day, everyone. All right, first off, I basically want to talk about the whole Mourinho out thing, right? I completely disagree with that. If persons can look back, Alex Ferguson didn't win anything in his first year. It is unfair to want to throw a manager out after one season. You haven't given him a chance. Yes, I agree, because I wasn't really a fan of Mourinho's playing style, the whole defensive thing, right? I think he's good for defenders, not so good for attackers, right? He has this defensive mentality. When we're leading 2-0, he throws on a defender, takes off an attacker. We sit back, invite pressure on our team, and at the end of the day, we end up conceding goals and possibly losing a match, right? I disagree with that. I think if he over the next couple of seasons changes that mentality, we can be a very, very good team. Maybe even going back to days of Alex Ferguson. So, I mean, I'm not sure what your view is on that.
I think you're right. You know what? The one thing that was in my head, sometimes people start talking and I just get a voice in my head going, you've got to remember this, you've got to remember this. When you've started talking at your point, and I agree, and you're spot on, it's frustrated me a lot this season where we might have been winning a game and we go defensive for 20 minutes to go. I don't like that. It's not what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. But in all fairness, around October, November time, I remember when we played Mata, Pogba and Herrera in midfield, we were absolutely dominating teams. We thrashed Leicester. We should have thrashed Burnley and Stoke. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. We played really good football, and we have played good football at times this year. But I do think he has gone a bit too defensive because he can't trust this team at the moment. I think the summer is so important. I think if we play this same style of football next year, he's going to have problems. More and more United fans will turn against him. Not me, I don't think, but people will get fed up with the style of play. But he has shown me enough this year at times that we have played some of the best football we've played for 4 years. And I have to have confidence. I don't know what you think. I'm just clinging on to the hope that he stopped playing that way because he doesn't trust the players. And he will buy the players he can trust in the summer, and we will see us playing more and more better football.
Exactly. If you look at it, Tuanzebe played. We have been waiting for him to get a debut for the longest time now. He finally played. I'm not going to say that I'm disappointed. Of course, his passing needs a bit of work, but defensively, he seems like he can do a job. But at the end of the day, if you're building a defensive team, not saying that he should focus all on the defense, but giving persons a chance to play together and get to know each other over the course of a season, that would be good, because if we end up having defenders injured, we will have a quick replacement, someone that can do the job, someone knows what the team is all about. I mean, we can't keep relying on the same defenders week in, week out, not giving anyone else a chance to play, not allowing them to build a relationship, because then that will cause us to leak a lot of goals and just concede all season. At the end of the day, we might not have the hair to keep us in the runnings next season, because of course he may go in the summer, he may not, but do we really want a chance? Give other defenders a chance to play. As it relates to Martial, I was very disappointed in the match against Arsenal. The team we put out yesterday should have easily beaten Arsenal 3-0, but for the first 5 or so minutes, we came out attacking, we looked good, but then all of a sudden, all defensive. No effort, no drive to score. I mean, you can't come out trying to draw a game against Arsene Wenger. You have played 12 against him, he's not beating you, right? But at the end of the day, you came out with the intention for a draw. Why? You did the same thing against Manchester City. They just didn't have the quality to break down the team. Arsenal did that. I mean, come on. Stop focusing on one single thing. What happens if Europa League doesn't work out? What do we do at that point?
Interesting points, Tyrone. Thanks for calling in. I'm going to try and get another caller in or two, but really good. Was it your first time on the show?
Yes, it is.
Jamaica?
Yes.
Yes, another one from Jamaica. I'll tell you what, I'm loving it. I love the fact that the United Stand gets so many people from all around the world watching and getting involved. Fantastic call, Tyrone. Please do call in again.
All right, thank you very much.
Cheers, pal. I've forgotten to say that actually. Do Skype in. I'm going to take another call very quickly after this one. But some fantastic opinions tonight. Loads of you watching, so please do drop a like. If you are new, click and subscribe. This is the United Stand, YouTube's biggest independent Manchester United fan channel, made for the fans by the fans. And as you can see with this show, it is your show. You know, we've got a lot of people watching. This video will probably get 15,000 views, I would imagine. If you get on, what an opportunity. Who gives you that sort of opportunity? And people should do it more and more. But I just wanted to say, we do this every Monday night at 8:30. And I think what's going to happen with the season ending, we're definitely going to go up to a couple of times a week with all the transfer stuff and the season reviews. So there's loads and loads of opportunity. I know lots of you call in, so do get involved as well. We've also got United Stand Private Members Club now through Patreon, where you can contribute $1 a month and get a load of exclusive content, membership cards and all that. I'll put the link in the video description for everybody if they want to get involved in that. And when we get to 200, I think we're about 100 members now. When we get to 200 members, we're going to start doing live exclusive streams in that members club area. So there's loads going on, but we will move it up on YouTube to a couple of times a week as well during the summer, because you've been absolutely fantastic. And worldwide, absolutely worldwide, and so much opinion and so much passion for the club, no matter what the result. It's fantastic. Maram Fellaini has apparently made a contribution for £100. If that's true, thank you very much. And he says, Mark, do people start recognising you publicly given the amount of subscribers the channel has? And do you ever feel tired of combining a day job with presenting the United Stand every day, even though you're clearly passionate about it? Just curious, loving this channel. Well, thanks for that contribution. I've got to answer when people put a contribution up anyway before I take another call. Funnily enough, I've been to Old Trafford quite a few times. I was there a couple of weeks ago for Chelsea. I actually stood in a pub very close to Old Trafford and had 2 pints of beer in a very busy place. Either people are very polite and courteous about your private time, or people didn't recognise me. I've never been recognised at Old Trafford, and I've never been recognised around the Midlands where I live, apart from one time at Christmas when I took my dad out for a meal with the kids and the family, and we were sat there in quite a posh restaurant, and a female waitress came up and said, "Are you Mark Goldbridge?" She doesn't even support United. Her boyfriend runs a Liverpool website, and she'd obviously seen through there watching it or something like that. So yeah, no, I love doing the United Stand. It will always be a part-time thing for me, even if the channel went massive. I do not agree. I am very passionate. I do not agree in full-time people doing fan channels, because I think you lose your edge. When this becomes your salary, this becomes your life, you cannot take risks, because you've got to play for likes. You cannot do the Mourinho in or out debates that we may well do, or that we did with Van Gaal. You can't do it, because if you get a backlash and you lose a load of viewers, that's your livelihood, and you are reliant on that. I don't agree with it. I think if you keep it as a part-time thing, which is what football is for me, I don't play football for a living. This is my passion, and everybody who's involved with it, whether it's me, Drawty, or even you lot on the Skype thing, people come on and give an honest opinion. That's what the United Stand's always been about. So I hope that answered the question well for you. I want to take another call very quickly. There's a few people who have been trying to call in for a while. Let me try this one. Mark, can you hear me, Mark? Mark, can you hear me, Mark? It's like speaking to a mirror. He's there, but I don't think he's. I think he's having problems with his audio. I'll give him one more shout, Mark.
You right, mate?
Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I can.
What did you want to say, pal?
I was wondering what your opinions are of how this season's been because if Shaw goes and people are just wondering who you think will replace them.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I don't know what your opinions are, Mark, but I think it's just a massive question that almost makes me feel tired, because a lot of my energy for Manchester United at the moment has been zapped by that result yesterday, where I felt top four was gone, but it definitely is gone now, and I'm still very disappointed about that, even though I don't really blame Mourinho as much as I blame the players. Then I've got the tension and nervousness of the Europa League, because we've got to win that. I totally agree, it's a massive summer, and to start answering what players should go and we can replace them with, I think if I was totally and utterly honest, I'm just too involved in everything else to think about it. But suffice to say, it's going to be a very interesting summer whether we get the Champions League or not, because I just think, I don't know what you think, I just think Mourinho has had such a... eye-opening season, and he will know that there are players he can't trust. And I think Luke Shaw could be one. I think Anthony Martial could be one. As amazing as that would be if we got rid of him. I mean, what are your thoughts? Who do you think's going to go? Who would you bring in?
Well, if I'm hoping Mourinho goes in the summer, and then maybe picking up someone like Alejandro Suarez. Have you ever heard about him?
Alejandro, sorry, I missed it.
Portuguese league, Porto. I'm not very good at pronunciation, but.
And who does he play for? Sorry.
FC Porto.
And what position?
Striker.
Okay. What was the name? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Suarez.
All right. Okay. And I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. Would you fancy him as because the problem is what we've got to do here is we've got to replace Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I mean, is he somebody that can come in and would you be confident that he could come in and score the goals, or do you think somebody like a Premier League? I mean, a lot of people would say they want Lukaku.
I wouldn't personally have him as a first-team striker. Maybe as a squad rotation. But then if we don't get Champions League football, it's the sort of thing that happens. He's not played for Bagging League, but he's not the top of the league. He's got 19 goals in the season.
I have totally and utterly lost Mark there. If anyone else can hear him, I've lost him. Very, very faint. Let me bring this back. Let's rescue the show. Sorry about that, Mark. Please do call in again. I'll certainly take a note of that. I'm not doing my homework, George. He's like, you sat there doing your homework. I know I look young, but I'm way beyond doing my homework. Right. Okay. Well, we've come to the hour anyway, so let me just sum up. But we are going to do more of these shows. The sad thing is, it flies by when we do this, and I absolutely love it. John Maloney says, the United Stand is a phenomenal, such a fans channel. Thank you for making it. Look, you know what, John? Alex Adams, who's not been on for weeks because he's just bloody lost all interest, I think. I'm only joking. Hopefully we'll come back on. But he always said, I hate it when you say it's the fans channel. But it's not a cliche, it is. We've not been doing Skype Goldbridge for ages. I think it's about 2 or 3 months old. It's probably been one of our most successful and satisfying shows. Not necessarily for the views or the amount of people watch, but this epitomises what this channel was set up to be. We started it on a Sunday night 3 years ago, I think. It was me presenting in a really raw environment on a hangout with Kev, Martin, Rich, and then Alex joined us. And we thought that was great because it was just 5 raw United fans talking. We are now where we are, where we can go live on a show on a Monday night. Loads of people watch it, loads of people are interested, and any of you lot can get on. It's physically impossible for me to answer every call. It is my aim to be able to do it at some point, and I will keep trying to do it. But the thing is, the more guests we come on, and the better they are, and the more passionate they are, I know the more of you think, I want to go on and do that. Because when we first started doing it, and Indy will back up, he came on, he was really nervous, and was like, it doesn't matter if you're nervous, have a go. But I think so many people are now learning from people who come on before, like Damien and Rodney and Luke, who was on at the start. People listen to them and think, I can do that. And they come on and they convey their voice and they are passionate. We don't get those people who come on and are just like mumbly, don't know what to say. And there's nothing wrong with that. We'll help you. But it's fantastic, this show. I absolutely love it. So a massive, massive shout out to everybody. I do spend most of my time reading the live comments when people are talking as well, which just makes me laugh. Just keep getting involved with United Stand, spread the word, tell your friends, like the videos, support the channel, get commenting, and it will go where it needs to go. It's its own beast, but it's everybody's, and I will stand by that. Talking of which, tomorrow night at if you are new, we're live at 8:30 every night apart from Saturday, although we do a show on a Saturday, but it's on my channel. Every morning at 7 a.m. through till the end of September, we've got the transfer show. Very big things to discuss on the transfer show tomorrow morning, actually. I'm glad we haven't discussed it tonight because I wanted to keep it all for you, but I could have discussed stuff, so we'll keep that back to the morning show. Tomorrow night is the preview show at 8:30. The signed Sir Bobby Charlton shirt will be given away at half-time and the watch-along on Thursday. I'll mention again how you go in the draw tomorrow, but that is a massive, massive collector's item. I wish I could keep that, but I can't. And yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the show. Every week, the Skype Goldbridge show just gives me more and more. I really, really, really enjoy it. And that question from Marin Fellaini, if it was the real one, I'd laugh if it was. I love doing the United Stand because I'm passionate. There are days when I just think, I'm so tired. But the minute I go live, I start to enjoy it. But this show, I never, ever fails to enjoy it. It's absolutely fantastic. And that's down to all you lot. You make it interesting. And people are saying, great show, Mark. It's nothing to do with me. I'm just going live, start talking. You know, I'm used to that. And take a call and talk about the things that I love, which are football and Manchester United. So thanks, everybody. Somebody says next caller. Look, I think at some point we're going to have to go for a couple of hours, aren't we? Because we could just go for a long time. And I've sort of spoiled a bit there, because the plan is to start knocking it up for a couple of hours as well. But we'll get the season out of the way first. And then we'll do that. We're definitely going to do a Skype Goldbridge season review, which will be a bumper thing, because there's going to be so much to talk about. But I'm rambling. I've dropped the link to the United Stand Members Club. It's the second paragraph. If you want to get on there, there's some. If you go down the timeline, there's some exclusive content. There's chats going on. There's all sorts of stuff going on there. We're going to do more and more on there. Just keep getting involved. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m, when you get up, if you're already up, watch it. It'll hit the United Stand channel. Make sure you've hit the bell so you get notifications when we go live if you have subscribed. But again, I just say thanks to everybody. What a great show. Some really good opinions. And I definitely want to get that Damien and Rodney show going on. I think that'd be really good. And it doesn't stop there. Sander started on here and he's done watch-alongs. If you are good enough, and I think most of you are, then opportunities, if you want them, will arise for you to get involved. And if you go to games, I must say, if you go to Manchester United games, if you saw what Ross did on the preview after the Swansea game, stood outside, Man United in his background on his phone and gave a couple of minutes match reaction. If you want to do that sort of stuff, we'll put it up on the channel. We're not going to set tripods and proper cameras up, because somebody already does that. United Stand is raw fan opinion. If you want to do something on your phone outside, and we'll put it up. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the transfer show. Some really big transfers to talk about on that. But thanks. Fantastic show. Really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be back tomorrow with the normal 2 shows. 7 a.m, 8:30. Thanks for watching.